Bing, 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 bing. All right. Yeah, that's good. Good day to you. So, let me fix one thing here. I'd love to get that a little more of the mat on there. Good, that's perfect. Okay, Thursday night. Welcome, guys. I think Seinfeld was on Thursday, so this is a sort of apropos rash guard. Anyhow, we are talking about escaping the back this week, and earlier this week, well, on Monday, I did the Monday brain dump and shot it with Brad Wolfson again, and we did like 10 or 12 good little snippets on like stuff you need to know in terms of basics on escaping the back, timing, and I covered on Tuesday the first little grouping of the back escapes. And that first little grouping all revolved around sort of getting a grip, waiting, picking my moment, and then when to go, try to get my shoulder blades to the ground or clear the arm here, and then shoulder blades to the ground on the other side. So it was all about shoulder blades getting to the ground. Okay. The ones that I do today are they're gonna be the scooting variety. So I'm doing all scooting. Okay. So first I just want to talk about one concept that's a move, but it's basically more of a concept than a move because you're not likely usually here. But when someone's got hooks in and no harness yet, kind of like when we practice the bear in your yard thing where a hand comes in, we look at it and fall away. You know, again, how often does someone have hooks but no harness? It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. But is it a situation that we can create? Possibly. If the harness is in and I swim my hands inside and I can pop it off and then hand fight, maybe I can get away and then there's going to be either one hand or the other comes over the top. But one thing that I can do is if I'm here and somebody's hooks are here and the hooks are in, but I can hand fight away, get the hands away, one thing I can do is go grab their feet. So if I grab the feet are right here, right? And this is the big toe and this is the pinky toe. So right on the pinky edge of the foot on both sides, and I'm going to sit forward and I'm going to keep my elbows in and just a little bit of like lift here. So I've seen Henner teach this, Henner Gracie teach this, but I'm also aware that, you know, my buddy, I think it was my buddy James Finizio, who runs Gracie Savannah in Georgia, was telling me he had done this for a while before that. And there are just other people. This thing has been around, but when Henner called it like kind of like a parachute kind of thing, it's almost like you get the two straps. That stuck with me, and especially because it gets such a cute name when you talk about parachute, and then you build in the scoot too. So it's parachute scoop. So scoot. So sitting forward. This is if you can fight the hands off. Fight the hands off. No hands. Get their feet. Okay. So here's what happens to the back guy. If you haven't seen this happen in real life, the back guy was on the back. So now you're X-ray through this guy. I was here and I went to put hands in or something, but there's some hand fighting and they sat forward and they pick up my feet. Okay. So I defy you. You can be any amount of flexibility, tall, strong, athletic, young. You are not getting anything together. You're not even getting your harness together if your feet are held close to someone's chest like this. We just don't reach there. So when we do this, when I hold their feet like this, I prevent even a harness from coming in. And by doing that, I can make a switch. And the switch is going to be this. As long as my feet are shaped the same as their feet are shaped, I'm going to grab my own feet. Okay. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to lift them up, keep them close, and I'm going to lean way forward. Now it's going to be very hard for the person to even get so much as a harness put together. And that's the parachute part. And the scoot part for a parachute scoot is this here. They've got their feet. They have no harness. They can't get a harness because I'm too far away. They're probably trying to sit up and can't even get up. The scoot part is this. I'm going to switch from the pinky edges of their feet to the heels. I'm just going to turn this over, grab the heel, grab the other heel, and I'm going to open the legs and use my heels to scoot down and turn around. Now, this may be hard to picture with one person. I definitely recommend, if so, that you watch the Monday Brain Dump. There's just a section of that video right on the parachute scoot, so look for that. It's about halfway through. Got the pinky edges, and I'm preventing them from getting so much as a harness put together. After that, I'm going to turn over, hold their heels, and their heels are here. Their heels are like the thing keeping me in. Boom. So I'm going to clear both hooks, but I can't just do it here. Don't expect to do it without moving. You do have to scoot down and try and turn around. What position are you in then? A scramble. You've kind of improved your position. Now you're up to a scramble from where you had been. Okay, that's a movement you can practice. We're here. You can practice it alone just by thinking about these as their feet. Their feet are here. And you're here, holding on, and then switch when you're ready to the heels, right? You're going to reach right inside the feet here and here, and you're going to open them up. So you're here, switch to the heels, and use your heels to scoot down, turn around, and face your opponent. Okay, so that's the parachute scoot. It's a simple thing in a rarer position. It is rare when someone has their back. I mean, the most useful back attacks that we'll do, the most useful back escapes that we'll do this week were probably the ones that I covered Tuesday, which are our very most old school ones. And those are the tried and true. Those are the tried and true ones, right? So this scooting down relies on harness issues for the other person. And that's something you can look for. Someone's on my back. Okay, how are their hooks? They feel pretty good. How is the harness? Oh, maybe it's kind of loose. Like, when someone's on your back, they should really be squeezing you. Their head should be forward. If these things are missing, that's what tells you which escape to be doing. If they're here but the head is not here, if you remember from Tuesday, that's the perfect time to just hold on, wait for their hands to open for a second, and then fall to this side, because there won't be a head in your way, underneath your head to get away. If the harness is so loose, you can break it and sit forward and get a hold of these. That's a pretty major problem with their harness, but maybe you can make it happen. Maybe not on the highest level guys, or maybe just, stuff happens. Rolls are weird. Things happen, right? Okay, so you should know this parachute scoot thing. I would not classify it in the highest percentage back escapes, anyway, ones that you'll see, but there it is. But the other ones, the other scoot downs, because I'm going to talk about them next, basically two things that can happen if you can scoot down. They come about, again, because of a looser harness. Like a good harness that's like, tight and it's up in your armpit. Like it shouldn't just be that easy to be sliding, just like it shouldn't be easy to turn independent of someone because they're so tight that you can't. They should also be so tight that you can't slide vertically, much less turn. But sometimes the harness loosens and that's the thing you're able to do. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to either defend the way I defend, or I'm going to have the kind of grips that I have. Let's say I'm defending, which is, this is a nice little defense. I'm crossing my hands here. I'm going to put my heels will become important, put them on the ground and use them to scoot myself down somebody. Now, if I was sitting up against somebody, you can picture we're both sitting up, again, which is maybe not something that happens all the time, right? Somebody has your back, frequently fall to one side or the other. But let's teach it in idealized scenario, and you'll use the concepts everywhere, okay? So I'm defending and sort of sitting up here. They do have their harness in there here, but if the harness is loose enough that I can scoot down them, I will. I will use my heels as grappling hooks, put them on the ground, and slide down. Now I'm a little lower on my person, and they are still probably with their hooks on. Now I'm going to keep my heels on the ground, bring my knees together. It makes it much harder for the person's hook to stay in when I straighten a leg. What you're usually going to find happens is, because of the tension you add when you do this from down here, having slid down, not always, but when you slide down, this creates tension. If you keep one straight, boom, you'll shed a foot. Now, what's the purpose of the hooks? It's a question I actually asked Hoist once. Hoist, my instructor at the time, I asked, what do I do? What advantage do I have if he doesn't have a hook or the hooks in? And he said, well, let me show you. So I got on his back and he said, okay, so just put one hook in. So with just one hook in, not both, he said, now this leg is free enough. And what he did to me was he reached back, he grabbed my shoulder, and he just got up. And I was like, oh man, I never had seen that before, never had thought that before, that gap, the gap that's created, the gap in my attack position here. I didn't realize it was so glaring. But the reason he holds the shoulder is so that when he turns over, I don't follow. I can't follow and take the back. But he just grabbed my shoulder and got up and on top of side mount. And that's sort of what happens. That's sort of one of the options here. So there's sort of a scoot and spin, and then there's sort of a scoot and hook. So I'm showing you the scoot and spin right now. And that's here. Defending, I slide down. I put my knees together toward the ceiling. And when I straighten one, one's going to fall off. And what you can do is grab the shoulder material. And you really want to be thinking about looking where you're going. Side mount happens when you're across the body. And your ability to get across the body is going to totally depend on your head going there first. Your head is going to be the scout. So when I get up, I need to be looking already. So really lead with your head, but this is something you can. Soldier over here, I slide down, I grab the shoulder, right? And what I'm grabbing is like material probably. Grab the shoulder and I hold it to me and down to the floor. I get up, but I really lead with my head so that when I'm out, I'm on top. Okay. You really have to feel this. It's something that we'll do as soon as we're back in class. And it's something you should do anytime you can find a partner. So let them take your back and then slide down independent of their body. So you just scoot down and see what happens to their hooks when you bring your knees together. And you straighten the leg. The foot's going to go flop. It's going to very rapidly fall out from the position because it's just hard on the hips, on the knees, to maintain the hooks when somebody has slid down. And then they start, oh, you can even see it. Watch. If I had someone's back and then they slid down, and now my feet sort of come off the ground, and then they bring their knees together, it does this like sort of thing. It sort of opens my knees up. And then when they straighten, it's going to fall right off. That's the perfect time for them to get up there. So scooting down and spinning in. Scoot and spin. Scoot and spin. So we did the parachute scoot, which was this here, grab the foot, and then scooting. And we did the scoot and spin, which was I was here, maybe even with the harness in, but I scooted down, knees together, straighten one, the foot falls out. I grab the arm, lead with your head. That'd be the scoot and spin. And maybe it'll be a shorter class today. I do just want to kind of cover these three. The scoot and hook, scoot and hook, scoot and spin, scoot and hook starts the same. I scoot down, right? I straighten a leg and one falls off. Now, the hook is dependent on something being there to hook. And sometimes when you scoot down, their feet will extend. Let me see if I can show you this difference. It's not just here, but it's here. So it's sticking out. And that gives you something to hook. And you're going to actually use your foot, reach across, and hook it. So imagine their feet are I've slid down, boot. I straighten this, and this foot is just a little bit through. I'm going to reach across with this foot and lift it up. So these are feet. Boom. And when I put my knees up and I shed one, this one's just sticking out a little bit. You see the shadow appears. That's because there's just a little distance from my thigh. Maybe you can use this hook. Whatever I was doing with my hands, I'm safe to put that hook in. I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to reach my hands under that leg. So here's the foot sticking out. I pick it up, and then I'm going to reach both my arms under it, spin in, and now I'm in basically a double under pass. Okay. I got under. I was able to scoop two hands under because of the scout that went in first, which was my hook. So it's here or here. I slide down, knees together. There are their hooks. Kick that one out. Create a hook. Lift it. Come underneath with two arms. Spin in, and now I catch the other leg for the double under stacking pass. Okay. So let me do 3 of each. These will be the reps that you could do with me. 3 of each. So sit forward, parachute scoot first. Get the pinky edges of their feet. Now turn your hands over, grab the heels, scoop, and turn in. here, I grab these, use your heels, scoot, and turn in. How am I scooting? How do I move from this position? My heels are pulling me, okay? So here's the third one, parachute scoot. Get the heels of the feet, open them up while you scoot down, turn to face your guy. You're either on top or in a scramble. Okay. Scoot and spin. From here, here. Their harness is in. I'm just able to slide down a little bit. I bring my knees to the ceiling, puts tension on their hips or knees, and when I straighten one, it's going to fall out. Grab the shoulder, step over, and really lead with your head. You really want your head across the body, so you're leading with the head. One more time. From here, scoot down, knees together, straighten, the foot falls out. Grab the shoulder. All right, spin. Scoot and spin. Third scoot and spin here. Here, or here. Scoot down, knees together, straighten one, plop, hold their shoulder. So wherever I was, I'm going to hold their shoulder and get up to side mount. And the last one we did was the scoot and hook, which is also a spin, but it's really characterized by this foot lifting one of these. We do this, shed one, lift the other, and reach underneath. So I'm defending, scoot down, knees together, straighten one comes out. I use this to lift, to put my arms under, spin in, and then I'll get my two legs for the double under. Sweet, let me give you a different angle. From here, I scoot down, knees together, here are those, straighten one falls out. Now I'm going to use this hook to lift. Okay. And last different angle I'll give you here. I'm defending whatever. Here, knees together. Here are their hooks. Straighten and one falls out. I'm going to use my foot to lift their leg. Reach underneath with both hands. Hold this leg. Turn over. Get the other leg. And from here, you can start working your double under pass or whatever. So these are all scooting escapes. The other day, we focused entirely on getting your shoulder blades to the ground. Lead with your head. Get your shoulder blades, 2 shoulder blades to the ground. How to do that on the underside and how to do it on the overside by passing their arm. Today we talked about scooting. And Saturday we're going to wrap up this topic with some Preet. TPS, I've been calling it for a while. Preet Mickelson is a friend of mine, friend of Brad's, and an increasingly famous jiu-jitsu teacher, because he does keep putting out DVDs and he's getting a lot of notoriety and acclaim because he's a good teacher with an unusual system, all defensive guard, how to basically protect yourself in every position, every bad position, how to protect yourself so well that people are just throwing stuff at you, you don't care, and if you pick the right moment, you walk out of a bad position. It's very amazing what he can pull off. I've rolled with Preet, just to give you my, it's Priit. Just to give you my experience with Preet, me rolling with Preet, who is bigger than me and who prides himself and totally runs a fully defensive game. Like, he doesn't come after you a lot. He wants to see what you do. Is like a 4-year-old whose dad says, "Okay, now beat me up." I leap on him and I throw everything I can at him and I put him in sort of trouble, and he mostly is unbothered by what I'm doing. But I'm like, ha! I'm going for everything I can go. And I'm black belt. I've been around a while. So it's amazing to see what he can do, who he can fend off. I've seen other very high-level black belts have total trouble getting through his stuff, his defenses. So anyway, TPS is that Preet stuff, and that's what I've been calling his system for a long time, and I actually mentioned it on Facebook to him, and now he's using it as a hashtag. So I'm just going to take credit right now for that TPS hashtag. That Preet stuff is what I've been calling his stuff forever, because that's what everyone calls it anyway. And we're going to do that on Saturday. Basically, how to get into a position so defensively strong that you can't be caught and that you ultimately escape. And that's the last bit of this. You can preview that on the Monday Brain Dump. Practice it with me on Saturday morning. Next week, we're back at it in person. I am personally over the moon about that, and look forward to it. Look forward to seeing everybody. I'm going to end the feed here on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for coming here. Hope you had a good time. Sure you want to end your stream? I am. All right, so take care, guys, and you